My Bangladesh of Gold. This first line of our national anthem is still not achieved as we had dreamt. The leader who dreams to make it after Shahid President Zia is none other than Tariq Rahman. Tariq Rahman is the son of Zia Rahman, who announced the independence of Bangladesh and was the commander of BDF Sectors 1 and 11 during the Bangladesh Liberation War, and Khaleda Zia, former Prime Minister of Bangladesh. Tariq was born on November 20, 1967. In 1988, Rahman started his political career as a primary member of the party's Belgrade District Committee member. Rahman actively assembled support for the party during the national elections of 1991, when the transition was taking place from the autocratic ruling of the democratic government. He was a member of the BNP's National Campaign Strategy Committee and was also responsible for coordinating the election campaigns in 5 constituencies from which his mother, Khaleda Zia, was contesting. After the BNP's success in the national elections of 1991 and the formation of the new government, Rahman was offered a senior role in the party as recognition of his contributions. However, he was reluctant to take up a higher position in order to have enough time to strengthen the party at the grassroots level. During the ruling of Awami League government in 1996 to 2001, Rahman mobilised movements against the actions of the government. He actively campaigned to address issues of economic deprivation and started championing a countrywide consultation program aimed at publicising the plight of the people living in rural areas. In national elections held in 2001, the party won a landslide victory with 2/3 majority. There was immense pressure on Rahman from the party grassroots, as well as the national leadership, to assume position within the government. But he repeatedly refused and pledged to keep working within the party. In June 2002, he was appointed as Joint Secretary General of BNP by its Standing Committee. After taking office as a senior Joint General Secretary, Rahman launched a program called Grassroots Level Conference in every district of the country, as well as divisional conferences. After his arrival in politics, the youngster of Bangladesh became more interested in BNP and making their continuous effort for its development. The young activists are now more active and engaged in bringing a positive change in the trend of Bangladeshi politics. The activities of Tariq and his influence on party members awaken the spirit of nationalism. Grassroots level leaders of the party for the first time saw their voices being heard by the central leadership in through the conferences Tariq initiated. That's how he created a history that can never be forgotten. On March 7, 2007, Tariq was arrested from his home whilst in a meeting with a group of BNP leaders. The military-controlled interim government filed 13 cases against Tariq, but none of the cases they mentioned had direct involvement of him. He was confined for months and inhumanely tortured in remand by emergency military-backed undemocratic and unconstitutional government. A huge contrast between Tariq's health while being arrested in March 2007 and months later raised questions of human rights abuse on him against the military-backed Fakhruddin Ahmed government. Weeks later, he attended the trial, arriving by ambulance. That time, the court put him on remand for 16 days. On September 3, 2008, the military-controlled interim government released Tariq on bail after 18 months imprisonment. BNP officials and leaders claim that this judgment is a proof of his innocence and he had no involvement with corruption, and that all the cases against Rahman were politically motivated. Tariq was sentenced to 7 years imprisonment by the High Court on July 21, 2016, in a money laundering case which may have an enormous impact on his political career. BNP Secretary General Mirza Fakhrul Islam said they will face the High Court verdict against Tariq Rahman in a money laundering case through a legal process. Tariq is working on a framework of vision for change that would address the pressing problems of the country, both national and sector-wise. He is studying the problems and prospects of different sectors of the economy and administration. He thinks the country's politics and governance should be reformed and changed to strengthen democracy, ensuring steady economic growth with participation of the grassroots people. Tariq wants to translate development of the country through bringing about improvement in mass people. He is also considering creating a team comprising both experienced and young energetic leaders and activists who will implement his vision for change. There's no doubt that if the dream of Tariq is to be realised, the country and the party will be benefited. The country also would move ahead if the thinking and spirit of Tariq are implemented.